Hi everyone, my name is Camelia and I teach neurofascial technique. I work with rollers and little balls and I help people to regulate their autonomic nervous system by improving the texture of their connective tissue. I don't believe that massages can permanently shift neurological patterns or resolve musculoskeletal issues, but also issues relating to hormonal balance. I also don't believe that medicine alone can maintain your balance, and I feel with aging, we all have to learn some neurofascial technique to hydrate our tissue. Anyway, that's about me. I was moved today to speak a little bit about attachments. Everyone in Brussels is right now renovating. A lot of people are renovating their homes. A lot of people, their contracts are coming to an end and shifting. So there is a lot of gifting of furniture. I got gifted tiles because the studio that I rented in September and sublet, because I had to go back to London to work, had this toilet floor that was like, I don't know what it was, but it was black and it looked like concrete. It was very disgusting, actually. It had linoleum over it, so I was very happy that somebody gifted me tiles. And I've had to deal with a little bit renovating this place because the person I sublet to is leaving, so I'm trying to make it nicer and seeing if I'm going to stay and live here or if I'm going to sublet it and go work somewhere else. But as I'm doing this, which for me it's a bit overwhelming because I don't have a lot of money, so it's not like I could just like hire someone and have them come do it for me. I have to run around, try to figure out where to get things, how to put the tiles in without having money to pay a worker. Luckily, I met a worker on the street who was Bulgarian and he did it like for 1/4 of the price. That's commercial. I was thinking of doing it myself, which would have been crazy after I saw what he did. There's no way I could have done that. And I'm still pondering how the painting the kitchen is gonna go, because it's not a straightforward painting. It's not like it's beautiful, perfect walls and I'm just gonna paint over them. I have to actually, I'm not sure how it's gonna go, but I'll manage. I've learned what a grind is, and yeah. It's not just an app. But in the process, I've accumulated a bit of stress. And for me, who over the past 3 years, my body has continuously unloaded stress and come together and connected. I do the melt method. I do a type of yoga that's really grounding and lengthening through the spine. And the pleasure and connectivity in my body has skyrocketed. I used to suffer with chronic pain and I don't anymore. But during the past 2 weeks, with a lot of uncertainty and having to deal with things I'm not equipped to or resourced to do, I have felt stressed and I felt like pains in my body that I haven't felt for 5 years come on. And I'm like, oh my God, is that thing, that animal still in there? Is that like whatever it was, I thought that I've like hydrated it and resolved it, but your vulnerabilities are still in you. And when you're under pressure, they will poke up. I mean, the system, your nervous system will switch from rest and digest to a fight or flight mode. And I've spoken about this. Health is not about being always calm and peaceful. That is not what health is. If you're always calm and peaceful, you never move your ass to go get the tiles. You never move your ass to go get the kids back from school. You don't move your ass to make money, so you're dysfunctional. You probably will have issues. You need to be switching between, toggling between rest, digest, fight, flight, and maybe not going into freeze mode. but you need to have an adaptable nervous system. Most people get stuck in one or the other, and some people get stuck in a freeze mode, which is not good. That's when you've been overwhelmed for such a long period of time. You haven't found a solution. A lot of trauma survivors get stuck into that. And then you're just like, you give up and the body shuts down. And there's a lot of postural effects that come from that. But coming back to me having experienced stress, I have become quite good at noticing the little onset of stress and how that affects which muscle. And I have the capacity to very quickly ground, lengthen, breathe, and resolve the issue so I don't go into pain. But this renovation has been quite stressful. And so I've noticed like problems with my sleep. I've noticed pain around my spine and my QL coming on much stronger. And I felt like the house is not really clean. So like my floor is not so clean. So I can't really come down to the floor to do my melt session to rehydrate my lower body, to release my lower back. And yet, I want to do it because like I know it will work. And so that additionally creates a stress. So even something which is my practice, which is normally a good, healthy thing to do, can become stress if I don't have the conditions to do my practice, or if I've been running around all day trying to go get things that people are gifting me for the house. I'm so tired that I really actually just want to sleep, and I don't want to get down to the floor and do my practice. So that's like thinking about it. Oh, I have to do it. Oh, I'm so tired. So there is a stress fluctuation. And that's where, if you have a practice, if you've learned to listen to your body, you can start making decisions which are healthy for you and adapted to the situation you're in. You might need to rest more. You might need to give up some of your practice. And these are decisions you have to make. And I work with people that have no practice and they're locked short in their lower back for years. They have to put some effort in actually developing a practice, because they have to start learning to move their awareness, switch their awareness, rest their awareness. These are skills that I have already built. If you haven't, you would have to figure out a way to create conditions, work with teachers to build those skills. I'm very grateful after a 20-year practice that I have those skills, so I don't unravel into, it's very easy for people to slip a little bit into depression, a little bit into anxiety when they get overwhelmed. And these are not pretty monsters. I mean, those have effects on your blood pressure, blood sugar. They start affecting your hormonal balance. They affect your posture, your gait, your musculoskeletal well-being. You might experience tension, stiffness, lack of energy. I do not like lack of energy. I want to manage my body so that I have energy. And that really depends on your fluid exchange in the body. It's not all about muscle strength or muscle stretching. That is very basic, rudimentary, and does not get to the heart of wellness and vitality in the body. But so back to my practice and my stressful condition right now. I spent a few days feeling uncomfortable with not having the capacity to self-care for myself with my usual tools. And then I made bold decisions about prioritizing my sleep, resting, meditating on the extreme vulnerability of my situation at the moment, and acknowledging that, allowing for the sadness, allowing for the suffering I'm experiencing right now. And when I woke up today, I felt like my body was grateful and thankful and had released my lower back, because I acknowledged the stressful situation I'm in. So my attachments in the past, when I was young, in my 20s, like my well-being, I was very dependent on relationships to cuddle me, for a guy to give me a hug, so that I could regulate, calm down, and feel good in my body, because I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of tension. I suffered with depression. And I feel that I was a little bit addicted to males, to my relationships with men. And that drove me into some relationships which were really not healthy for me, because the guys were not treating me well, but they would give me support and comfort through physical relationships, which I really appreciated, and I stayed longer than I should have with people who were abusive towards me. That was an attachment that made my life dysfunctional, that created a lot of cost to me, to my mental and emotional well-being. So that was not a healthy attachment. But on the other hand, shifting from unhealthy attachment to being completely independent is no way to live your life. You need to get someone to put your tiles in the kitchen, unless you're a handyman and you know how to do it. I know how to help you with your body. I know how to cook. I can do my accounts, but doing the tiles is taking it too far. I can even plant, a little garden. I could grow some vegetables. I can't grow my own wheat. I am not completely independent, and I do not want to be. That's a trauma response. Complete independent talks about trust issues. You need to trust someone. You need to reach out for help. You need to resource yourself. You need to exchange money. You need to make enough money to satisfy your needs for entertainment, stimulation, movement, food, house. So attachments are necessary. Dysfunctional attachments, you should be able to become aware and find ways to otherwise resource so you can move away. So for me, luckily, not that I took proactive actions to get there, but I ended up in a situation where luckily I did become part of a community where I learned to take care of my body and give myself sensations of security and comfort in the body through movement, through touch, self-touch, and somatic practice, so I could unwean myself from my negative attachments to men who were abusive. But now my practice, and that happens for people like me who become professional and really dedicated to a somatic practice, my practice can become a source of a dysfunctional attachment. If I stop socializing with people, stop taking care of, other needs that you might have for fun or travel, and just become completely obsessed with my practice, that could become an attachment that good in some contexts can now become actually negative and overbearing and make you dysfunctional. So taking the choice not to do my practice and to just self-soothe and meditate and take it easier on myself was a really sensitive and well-practiced approach for me to take care of myself today. So I'm realizing that attachments to healthy food, healthy movement, can also become dysfunctional, and you need to be able to adapt and know how to take care of yourself, know how to rest even from a positive attachment to movement. And I say that as I train people and as I motivate them to develop a MELT method practice where I'm asking them for 10 days, can you please organize your life enough to do a hand treatment and to do a foot treatment so that you start getting hydration up towards your lower back and hydration up towards your upper back. And that is a challenge you have to do. But once you establish in a self-care practice, once you develop the skills, once you learn to work with your awareness, you will start to fine-tune even your practice. And that is really higher end skills. So find a teacher, start working with a self-care practice, learn to use neurofascial techniques, because as you age, this is not going anywhere. You're living in gravity for 45 years. You're gonna start having compression. You don't have to have stiffness in your knees and your lower back and your shoulder. You don't have to start escalating into painful joints just because you're aging. Learn to hydrate your body, learn to work with your awareness, with your breath, And gradually your meditation skills will become strong enough for you to be able to toggle and calibrate and fine tune. Have a lovely day and drink some water.